Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
So we're doing a little pre-recording this week because when this episode comes out on Thursday, I will be in Seattle with Amazon because Grandma and I are doing a project with them. We're their partners. So I'm really excited. Grandma Gail can't come because she has a prior commitment, unfortunately, but we're going to do stuff with them at another point together.
And not only that, but we've been busy packing and unpacking your suitcase.
The last time I was in Seattle was on my teen tour when I was 14 on American Trails West. And I don't remember it much.
But you were there in July, don't forget. Now you're going to be there in April.
And I think it was even raining then.
I think it's always raining. The one thing you definitely have to take is an umbrella. And
I
actually saw the weather was very cold.
I remember going, is the Needle there?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that. That's it. Is there anything else?
Well, Amazon.
Yeah.
That's what's really there.
Yeah,
But
so
anyway,
I don't know what
fun.
is going to be in store yet. Probably like dinners and some meetings with Amazon people. But I'm excited, and I'm definitely going to be FaceTiming you most of the time because it is scary to go on a trip by yourself with nobody you know.
Well, you know what? You're grown up. You can do it. I have complete faith in you.
Thanks. But yeah, we're going to have to pick some good outfits to wear while I'm there.
That's the issue. Mm-hmm. I think you have to be chilled out because I think Seattle's very, not really, they're
glam. They're
more cool.
Yeah.
More cool.
Like chill girl
absolutely.
vibes.
Absolutely. So I think that you'll have fun doing this. We're going to have a lot of looking in your closet this week.
Yeah. Did all of our listeners see that we were on Fox Digital and the New York Post this week?
It was a very nice article, Kim. It was very nice, but the difference was that it was interspersed with ads. I couldn't quite figure it out.
I know.
I mean, all of a sudden I was reading it, and then an ad came in, and I thought, is that us? And then I realized, no, that's not us.
Yeah,
but
it was a little disorienting, but I do think it was a really nice article. And
she was such a nice reporter who interviewed us.
Yes, and we really just talked about all the generational differences and how we film videos for Excuse My Grandma and stuff like that. So
and telling me everybody how old I am, which I think I have to stop telling people.
Yeah. Well, you guys should look it up. Just, I'm sure if you Google search Excuse My Grandma, the article will come up.
But give them the date.
I think it came out about a week ago.
Right.
So it'll come up. Okay. I'm thinking for our dating topic of the week, we will talk about the rule that we posted on social media this week, which was, if a guy doesn't want to go out again, think about all the outfits you didn't have to waste on him.
That I think is good because it gets tiring.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dating someone for several nights in a row, you've got to really think things out.
Yeah.
And it gets a little exhausting.
Well, it actually came up organically because I've been going on dates, and sometimes, not every date goes, it doesn't turn into anything. And when someone told me they didn't want to keep dating, Grandma did a really nice reframe and was like, just think about it this way. Like, you only wasted 2 outfits on the guy. And I was like, so true. And I think that's a great way to think about things.
Exactly. You got to always think of the positive.
Yes.
You take a negative and you make it into a positive.
Other videos that we did this week, we did one of our Not My Type videos. Grandma said, date someone who's emotionally available. And I said, not my type.
But I think that's a very true thing. And this goes back to a lot of different rules.
Yeah.
I think the maturity level of your dates, and you as well, who whether it be the male or the female that we're talking about, has to be really on the same level that everybody's looking to do the same things. Because you know what? Everybody grows up differently, and sometimes a 30-year-old can act like a 15-year-old, and a 15-year-old can act like a 30-year-old.
Absolutely. A lot of people were commenting, being like, wait, what does it mean to be emotionally available? And I mean, I would just say it means you're mature enough to have a healthy adult relationship.
Yeah, not just a one night or a 2-night stand, that you really want to have a relationship, and you enjoy being with somebody on the many different levels that you have, whether it be washing the car, walking the dog, or just going to the grocery store. People enjoy spending time together. I mean,
and that you're emotionally open and ready and not hung up on your own personal issues or traumas or on an ex or whatever. It means you're available to find love with someone.
To open your heart up to somebody new.
Yeah.
And be ready for that. And I think that really is not always so easy because, everybody's going through their own nonsense at any given time. And that's why it's very tricky to get into a good relationship.
Yeah. Well, someone commented, it's like the people who are emotionally available are invisible in my toxic eyes.
Well, all right, but we don't want to be negative. Somebody will come into her eyes. That'll be perfect.
Exactly. Okay, let's do Grandma Gail's headlines of the week.
Well, the only headline that really I can feel like talking about is that I think we have to start really taking the relationship between Russia and China more seriously. I don't think our leaders are really paying enough attention. They're just sort of winging it, and that bothers me. And actually, I was listening to a lot of commentators say that we've been blindsided that all of a sudden China's bringing up 12 points for a resolution in the Ukraine. That was our role always, the United States, as the leader of democracy and the leader of the world. And somehow we've fallen behind. And I think that's something that our officials in Washington and whoever our leaders are promoting as diplomats have to really start sitting down and saying, come on, get back to being number one again. So hopefully in the next 6 months, after we've figured out the banking crisis and all our political issues at home, we'll start worrying about the world again. And we must do it because we are in a one world situation.
Also, what do we think about TikTok potentially being banned? It's been a discussion for a bit now.
I think the people on TikTok have been in Washington speaking, and hopefully they're going to make some resolution that will allow part of it to be, especially the American channel of it, will be sort of taken over by somebody else, or they will set up certain rules to guarantee security of the users, because we love TikTok and we support freedom of speech, but we don't want people to have their information taken away from them as well. So we're hoping for a good resolution on that.
It was actually really interesting. I was scrolling through TikTok and I follow the official TikTok account, and the I want to say CEO, but someone at the head of the company, I don't think it was the CEO, but went on and posted a video of himself kind of talking about it, which I thought was interesting, being like, there's 150 million Americans on TikTok. We love you and we want to make you feel comfortable.
Business. And I mean, it's business now, and people want it, from the economic point of view, it's a very good business. So we're hoping that all sides will make a good resolution and one that will be good for the general public. I think we should tell everybody what we did this week. We're sort of preparing for Passover early. We made a brisket and we sliced it and we put it in the freezer, because I have a friend, I'm going to make another one, but I have a friend who says it's better this way, that you take it out the day of and then you reheat it in the gravy.
Yeah.
So
and
we're going to try it both ways.
2 weeks?
Well, it's April 5th. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not that far. And then the same girlfriend told me that I can do that with potato pancakes. So I'm thinking about it.
What is the point of
Well, I think because the day of it becomes so frenetic with all setting the table and everybody coming together, and you want to be with family, that if you can do things prior, it makes sense. So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try doing the potato pancakes as well, and then take one out and put it in the oven and see if it comes out just as well. If it does, then that takes a lot of stress out of cooking.
The recipes were actually much easier than I thought they would be. There's nothing too complicated about any of them, but I think I always feel like that when I'm watching people cook, and then for some reason I mess it up. But
I'm only worried, normally I get my meat from 2 different places in New York when I make brisket, because brisket is a tricky thing. You either have to, when you do barbecue, that cooks for hours and hours on a grill.
And the whole apartment smelled like meat
for
literally.
Good.
Yeah, but I don't want to smell meat before bed, 48 hours.
When you're making a brisket, it somehow lasts in the house an entire day. But the truth is, the brisket, the quality of the beef counts a lot. So I'm hoping the one we got and prepared will be just as good as I remember the ones I get in New York. So that I'm not 100% sure of. But the ingredients are always the same. It's the same onions and carrots and garlic.
Plus
and,
some of your special.
yeah, well, we have a couple of secret ingredients.
ingredients.
Exactly. But it smells delicious, and I'm going, when we cut it up, it looked good, and the Ziplocs will hold, and everything is going to be perfect. So we're going to try this. It's an experiment.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's do our listener questions of the week from Ask Grandma Anything. How to be a supportive girlfriend. My boyfriend is going through a lot right now.
Well, that's very important. It's the same with anything. You have to reach out. If her boyfriend has some issues, take her out for lunch. See if you can talk it through. See if you could do anything to help him. If there's anything that, you might know somebody that could help him out. So you have to extend a hand. And
I think it's also different for every relationship. Like, your partner. Like, I feel like there's some people who don't want to be asked a million questions and they just want you to be there for them. There's some people who do want to push you to talk about it. Like, I feel like I'm in that category where I want to talk everything out. So, like, know your partner and know what they would want in this situation. Or you can literally say to them, like, how can I be the most supportive to you during this time? Like, do you want me to be this or that way? I don't think that's like crazy.
I think, are you talking about a friend or your partner yourself? I misunderstood.
Oh, no, your partner.
Oh, then if it's your partner, I think you'll have to reach out. There's not even a conversation.
They're saying, like, how can you be a supportive girlfriend when your boyfriend is going through something?
I thought a girlfriend girl to a girlfriend.
No.
Oh, I see, to a partner. Well, you have to talk it through, because if you really are in a relationship and something is bothering one of you, you have to, extend your hand, extend your brain, and two people are better than one when figuring out a problem.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, someone said, how do you respond to a rude mother-in-law?
You keep your mouth shut. That's the problem.
Mother-in-law is
I think
calls the shots.
Yeah, well, I have to say, I had a wonderful mother-in-law, and I always enjoyed her, and we spoke every single day. I called my mother, and then I would call my mother-in-law, and we had a very nice relationship. It could be that I was her only daughter-in-law at most of the time, because my husband's brother kept getting married and divorced, so he never had a daughter-in-law too long. She never had a second daughter-in-law too long. But, I think it works two ways. If you're respectful to them and ask their opinion, you don't necessarily have to follow their opinion, but listen to them, very much the way we talk about dating. You don't have to agree with the person about your dating stories, but listen to the other side. And I think with a family relationship, especially with a mother-in-law, from the woman's perspective, it's always very tricky. A mother and son have a very special dynamic in most cases.
Yeah.
So
they think that they're the best thing to ever hit this earth.
Well, because the mothers really do that to their sons.
Yeah.
I think almost in every culture. So I think it's a little harder for the daughter-in-law. But if she's smart, she just walks through the noise.
What if it's like really crazy, like the mother-in-law is getting very involved? Like, can you say to your husband, like, maybe can you like talk to her on your privately?
I think it definitely has to be done through the husband, because you can't have somebody interfering 100% in your conversations or your relationships or your fights or how you're raising your children. But however, I do think you should listen. It doesn't hurt to listen. Just try to not say anything and listen to her point of view. And if it's really awful or mean, then I would say to your partner, listen, I think you got to tell your mom to just stop a little bit.
Someone asked why I don't call you Bubby.
Because that wasn't the way we ever called grandparents.
Yeah, we never did in our family.
Yeah, we always say grandma or grandpa.
Yeah.
That goes back several generations.
Yeah.
Each family calls, some of them call Nana.
Right.
Some of them
I called your mom Nana.
Yes. Well, that was a great grandma. Because
it
would be very
too confusing. Grandma, great.
And
you also wouldn't be like, great grandma, can you come over here?
And we also lived near each other, and we were very often together. So you had to differentiate the grandma from the Nana.
Right. And like even with my other grandma, I guess it gets it gets confusing sometimes when we're all in the same room.
No, but you say her name.
Yeah, I say Grandma Lean or whatever.
Exactly.
Thoughts on push presents, good or bad?
Well, I never understood that until my son told me that was something you did. So,
Yeah, I didn't know that until recently either. Like
Right.
when you give birth.
that you get a present from your husband. I mean, I must say I did get a present, but I didn't call it that.
Yeah.
I think it's just that the father is so excited of the beauty of the birth and how hard it was for you because you're doing all the pushing.
Yeah.
And the screaming.
Yeah.
I think sometimes the men just want to.
But like,
give
what's
a
an
gift.
example? Like,
Well,
is it like a
sometimes
really
a
big
piece
gift?
of jewelry,
Right.
Sometimes just some flowers. Sometimes a sweater or
Right.
article
kind
of
of-
clothing. It
Like,
depends.
it makes sense, but it's also like kind of weird.
I think it's sweet. I
Yeah.
think it's sweet,
Yeah. I guess it's
but
like,
I don't think it's a necessity.
right.
You know, don't get insulted if you don't get it.
Yeah.
But if it really matters that much to you, you better suggest it to your
Yeah.
husband before you give birth. Say, listen, maybe a little gift after I have the baby would be very nice.
Yes. Our 50s movie of the week, The Captain's Paradise,
Oh, that's so funny with Alec Guinness. Kim.
1953.
Yep. He has a lover in every port. And all the antics that he goes through, it's fun, it's cute, and I think everybody will enjoy it.
Okay, another great episode of Excuse My Grandma. You know how to follow us on social media. We're Excuse My Grandma. And we will see you next week.